My name is Scott Tucker. Since 2004, I have traveled the globe in search of adventure, culture, and wildlife. And after producing 100 short documentaries and broadcasting them across the entire U.S., it's finally dawned on me. This must be too good for mainstream media. I don't take vacations. This is not a hobby. We are totally out of the box.
That's me.
Chris went all the way back to get my luggage.
380 kilometers.
380 kilometers.
Oh, man. You have good luck to run.
Now that I've got some fresh underwear and a tripod, let's get back to it.
And if you are a male, you can't win the center territory unless you are very strong. You can fight everyone out. If you are unable to kick everyone out, then you lose the territory as well as losing all the wives. So the females know that the strong males who are already living in the center territory means the stronger genes and hence the stronger family. That's why they have to fight very hard, always keep themselves at the center territory.
Folks, if you're just joining us, Chris has just brought me into a separate part of Queen Elizabeth. This place is loaded with antelope, warthog.
You see, for the warthogs, what makes them...
Everybody's getting ready for some sleep. They're very relaxed. Oh, look at this one right here.
We are now in Queen Elizabeth National Park, which is a national park that was named after the visit of the Queen of England in 1954.
Remember, this is not Disney. We can't guarantee it. But there are lions in this region. So we got our eyes peeled. Huge herd of buffalo. What Chris has explained to me is that you normally will see one in a group with the horns. I see two, one on each end. It's almost like two males are guarding this, I'm going to say, group of 20 females.
A group of antelopes, maybe 100 of females, then like 40 males. You may find that there are also males in the family, but they who don't have the horns. They look like females, but if you observe critically, you realize that they are males. It's because they would have lost their horns while in a fight.
It's easy to overlook it, but the entire savanna is covered with ant hills. I don't know the species of ant, but it's covered with ant hills. They're everywhere. Just up ahead, another pair of wild boar. But this time something's wrong. Something spooked them. After all, if you tasted like bacon, you'd be on high alert. Nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to see. My first African lions in the wild. This was amazing. You can tell they were resting up for the big battle that night, probably going after wild boar.
I never thought I would live long enough to have this moment in the wild. Chris has brought me unexpectedly right in to a small group of lions. They're sleepy. One of them is almost fast asleep. The other one is kind of watching, keeping guard. They are maybe 60 or 70 yards away, so I can actually see their eyes.
Like so many of the wildlife encounters with apex predators, it's a little bit anticlimactic. You're expecting to see something trying to kill me. They're not. They're sleeping.
There's a cub.
What's so difficult to get your mind around, and I think I never really did, was that I am face to face with an apex predator that is known to be the fiercest killer on the planet, and yet I feel like I'm just hanging around with a bunch of cats.
It was a fantastic surprise.
I told you, we can make it.
All of a sudden, I'm standing on top of the lions.
In their natural wild.
And then Chris is like, you can stand. I'm okay, they're not going to jump up. Okay, I trust you, buddy. I trust you.
The only way you can describe this experience of being up close to these lions is to take everything you would think it would be and throw it out the window. It was cerebral. It was calm. It was as if we were welcome.
That was a bit unexpected, folks.
And just a couple hundred yards away, it becomes clear as to why they're so tired, why those lions are conserving their energy. They're preparing for a night of hunting. Antelope everywhere.
So, tomorrow morning, some of those antelope may end up looking just like this guy here.
Please,
Thank you so much.
thank you for visiting, and I'll be great to see you back, at least with either your family or with friends.
I will be back.
Please.
Promise. All of a sudden, I see elephants on the road.
and usually the leader is a female and it's called matriarch. Now see them. Now it's the female who's leading them. Yes.
There's a small herd there.
Few minutes to come.
At this point, I'm practically numb. Hippos, crocs, lions, antelope by the hundreds, and now a herd of elephants. And to think anyone could harm one of these creatures for something as ridiculous as a tusk makes no sense at all.
Are you kidding me?
The video camera is really constraining, and sometimes you can't see what you were looking at until months later. All of a sudden I realize there's a juvenile elephant beneath the matriarch, either hiding for cover or perhaps even still milking.
What's that right there?
Again, for those of you just joining us,
the
I am in
young ones.
Queen Elizabeth National Park, and we are spying on a beautiful herd of elephants that really are living in symbiosis with us. No one's hunting them, nobody's bothering them, and we're driving through in a car.
At the moment they are feeding and they're trying to find their way on how to cross the road and go the other extreme end of the south of the forest. Because usually in evening hours like now, they go at the lake just to get some water in order to make the navigation more easy.
In spite of my amazement and my absolute admiration to these creatures, magnificent elephants, so much of Africa's megafauna are under heavy pressure from poaching, and eventually we will lose them all as we stand up and protect them. So check this out. Throughout Africa, the African elephants are on decline as a whole, mainly due to poaching, habitat loss, all that jazz. We know that story. But Uganda, where I am right now, is the only country in Africa where elephants are on the increase. The population, which hit an all-time low down in the 600-700 range back in 1980s, is now upwards to 5,000.
African elephants! I thought the day was over. Apparently not.
Why? They've credited a major investment in national parks. They are protecting large tracts of land.
There's elephants 3 seconds from where my luggage was picked up.
At this point in the journey, I am totally exhausted. But little did I know, I was about to be immersed into a cultural experience no one could have ever put on the itinerary. After achieving a lifetime of dreams in one day, I landed at the Ngazi Game Lodge, overlooking the savannah grassland. It was like a storybook setting. The people, the decor, my room, everything included. And before you knew it, I was back on the road. But this time, we were set for the target to encounter mountain gorillas in their own habitat for the first time ever in my life. And then it all gets mixed back into a whole new perspective. The culture, the poverty, the resilience of these people. Complete game changer. Complete mind-altering experience. When you juxtapose it to where we are here today in southern New England, it's as if you've gone through a time warp. And within a blink of an eye, we enter back into an extreme, intense wildlife situation. Here we got antelopes everywhere.
Antelopes. Bunch of males all mixed in with a few females.
Do you understand? Whenever something scares it, then it has to do it so fast. That's why lions can't play with them, because they know they're going to waste their energy and they won't eat anything. Now they are feeding and they are planning on how to cross the road, because they are seeing us as a stumbling block, because we are parked just in the middle of their way.
Forgive me, guys. We're leaving. Thank you so much. We are in the southern region of Queen Elizabeth National Park, a region known as Isasha. And we are crossing through some of the most unusual habitat on the planet.
This region holds 5 different levels of vegetation, starting at the obvious grassland area, but it's mixed in with acacia woodland, lakeshore and swamp vegetation, forested grassland. Extremely rare.
There is an airport just across.
At some point in time, you begin to ask yourself, like, what are you looking at? And I finally just had to ask, these iconic trees out in the distance, scattered throughout the grassland, are acacia trees. And I'm going to suspect that that's the kind of tree, if you are so lucky, you will see a tree climbing lion sitting inside it. Look.
The youngest antelope you are seeing. The tree climbing lions cannot eat them. They are very clever. They know if they eat them, that means they can be extincted. And for them, they have the heart of conservation. So they just come, pick the old ones as one way of winning them. And then when these young ones also grow, they also pick the old ones like that. That's why they have maintained the number of antelopes and the number of lions.
First time that I have seen the baboons, a primate, mixing, sharing. Here's another huge baboon straight ahead.
This is Scott Tucker's Expedition Earth. You're on a safari in Africa like you'll never see. So stick with us. Based on research by the Population Reference Bureau in Washington, D.C., Uganda is slated to have the most explosive population growth in the world. What now nets out at about 39 million in population will by 2050 grow to over 150 million people. And it all boils down to a lack of government support for family planning. Only 20% of the population has access to contraception. Only minutes outside the village, we landed at Bakiga Lodge, my home for the night. Once again, I felt as though I had landed in a movie set, looking out across a storybook land. The cabins were neat as a button. The wait staff treated me like royalty. I felt like I was a million miles away from those villagers only moments down the road. And suddenly, everything changed. I just stepped foot in my first orphanage. I wasn't prepared. You read about orphanages, you hear about orphanages, people getting involved and helping. You can't comprehend what it's like to actually be there until you're there. At this point, I'm fighting back tears, pretending to smile, and all of a sudden, they assemble and begin to sing and dance.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. This is the going to open a school. Feel at home.
Connecticut.
Ah, Canada.
Connecticut.
So you said that these are farmers. Could you explain more about what they do?
Yeah, so they cultivate Irish potatoes, that is on large scale, and it is the major source of income for the people here. Cattle keepers around, and also they also graze sheep and goats. Yeah, but still on small scale, here the income is not so much that they can sustain themselves so much, so they always use different things they can use to generate income. But it is terrible because of the hilly stuff. The place is so hilly, and so getting food is a problem, grazing is still a problem, and they are also surrounded by the national park. So sometimes the animals come from the park to eat their foods around, and you know, in the laws of the country, it is illegal to kill such an animal. So when it comes, all you do is just chasing it. But if you can't, you let it, you just leave it alone. When it is satisfied, it goes.
Which animals? Which kinds of animals?
There are gorillas, and then baboons, which are just nearby, and then the monkeys. And it is so terrible, you know, they always come and they scare off people, you know. When you see it, you just take off.
This is one of those heartbreaking moments when you realize the very thing that compelled me to come to Uganda, the gorillas, is a big part of a bigger issue. They're fighting over food.
The biggest problem here is water. People have water. They have springs in the valleys where they fetch the water, but they face a problem. They go for grazing. The animals also come and drink from the same source. So people with the animals use the same source. So what we are doing as the lodge here is the profits that are got from this lodge are used to, construct water springs for the people, and separate them from where the animals can drink from. And also, we also construct water tanks on community houses like schools, churches that are community based. We also construct their water tanks to collect water to sustain the community in the dry spell.
It's a bittersweet realization to see that the gorillas, the very thing that brought me here to Africa, is a huge part of the conflict and the struggle that these people are continually grappling with. That just about does it for this edition of Expedition Earth. Stay tuned for the next episode where I bring you into the mountain gorillas of Uganda.